Great. Okay. So if everybody has a mat or a semi-soft surface to work on, that's great. If you do not have a soft surface, I would recommend folding up a towel or a blanket. This will just help support the knees. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit today. Oh, got another joiner. Let me get them in here. Hello, Stuart. All right. So we're going to start seated today, and then we're going to ground down onto our backs after that. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about the different facets of the mind, and in particular, 3 of them. Hi, Stuart.
Hi. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no worries. We're just getting started. So I'm going to have you mute your audio just so that the picture stays on me. It's really sensitive to any noises anybody makes, and if people need to see a pose, I want them to be able to. So I'll just have you mute it. But if you have any questions, you can come up and unmute it, and then we can address it as it comes. But for now, we will go ahead and mute that. So I wanted to talk a little bit with you about the analytical mind, the emotional mind, and the place where these 2 facets of the mind meet, the wise mind. So the emotion mind and the analytical mind, both completely valid and very important parts of the human experience. But oftentimes we can find ourselves leaning to one side or the other, creating an imbalance. And this imbalance can show up in our relationships to others, as well as our relationship to ourselves. And so yoga invites us to find an equilibrium between these 2 facets of the mind and bring the awareness to wise mind. And wise mind thinking requires us to observe, and it requires cultivation of awareness. And we can find this in yoga using the breath. The breath can be an anchor point at which we draw our thoughts back to when we noticed our thoughts wandering or moving into one facet or the other. In yoga, for instance, we can find ourselves in analytical thinking when we're trying to move into new poses. We have to think about where to place our hands, how to draw our shoulders back, engage the core, all these little details. And so that's an important way to be able to think. And it can also show up in the emotion mind when we're in a pose that feels really good. We're just like, oh, this is awesome. This stretch feels so nice. I feel so open. And conversely, we can say to ourselves, ooh, this pose doesn't feel good. I hate this pose. This doesn't feel good at all. I just want it to end. And so coming to wise mind thinking, we remove that judgment. We come back to a place of simply observing what is, finding an equilibrium, as opposed to getting caught up in the thoughts and feelings of the mind and being swept away by that. We can draw our breath, draw our awareness back to our breath, and that can bring us to this state of wise mind thinking, where we can cultivate less reactivity and become more responsive, not only on our mats, but in our daily lives. So for today's practice, I invite you to become aware of the analytical mind when you're moving through postures, maybe become aware of the emotion mind as well, and see if you can't loosen your mind's grip onto whatever judgments surround these things. See if you can't just let that go a little bit and then draw your awareness back to your breath and to the sensations within it, and ride the waves of the breath, if you will. We've got another person joining. Let's get them in here. Awesome. Hi, Colin.
Hello. All right, we can get started now. Sorry, I'm late.
You missed the intro, but long story short, we're going to go ahead and mute our cameras. That way the focus will be on me and it won't be switched in case you need to see how to move into each pose. So everybody's going to mute. If you have questions, you can unmute. But for now, go ahead, mute, and then make sure your camera is tilted downwards so it can see the shape that you're in. And we are going to go ahead and get started. We're gonna lie down on our backs, stretching our legs out long, bringing our arms down by our sides, making sure that you've got some space in the back of your neck. All the wrinkles are removed and your chin is ever so slightly tucked. And you're just in this neutral lying down position. We'll close down the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then take an open mouth exhale. Take another deep breath in through the nose, filling the lungs. And take an open mouth exhale. One more deep breath in. One more full breath out. Seal your lips. And then take your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Take a moment to swallow. And let your tongue settle to the bottom of your mouth. Close down the eyes. And begin to soften the muscles of the face. Begin to let everything ground down onto your mat. And then simply begin to notice your breath. Without any judgments, simply becoming aware of what is in this moment. And see if you can't bring your breath all the way into the belly. Feeling the expansion of the rib cage and the contraction. Noticing the cool air on the inhale and the warm air on the exhale. And so I'll touch on what we talked about before Colin popped in. I invite you to bring your awareness today to the breath, but also become aware of any of the analytical aspects of the mind and the emotional aspects of the mind as you move through shapes. And see if you can't loosen your grip on whatever judgments might arise. And simply come back to the breath and become the observer of the experience. And so with that, I invite you to bring a mantra into your practice today. And the mantra is let go. Repeat to yourself, let on the inhale and go on the exhale. And so we'll take a few more breaths in silence. Just noticing what is. Make a commitment with yourself to let go of any judgment and simply come back to the breath. We'll unite the breath together, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Two more just like that, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. One more deep breath in. One last full breath out. Seal your lips. And set the intention to come back to the breath, back to the mantra, let go, throughout practice tonight. We'll blink the eyes open. We'll bend the right knee, followed by the left, and we'll draw the knees into the chest. We'll keep our lower back planted, and we'll take circles in one direction. Hands are on top of the shins or the knees. And then we'll take the circles in the opposite direction. We'll come to stillness, place the soles of the feet on the mat, and then we'll reach our fingertips toward our heels so that they graze the heels. We'll inhale, press the feet into the mat, making sure the knees are hips width distance apart. And we'll press our hips toward the ceiling, allowing the back of the neck to get long, gently squeezing the glutes. Exhaling, lowering the hips down. Inhale, press the heels in, lift the hips high. Exhale, lower it down. On your next inhale, as you lift your hips, reach your arms overhead. And let them settle on the mat. Exhale, lower the hips and the arms back down by your sides. Inhale, lift the hips and arms high. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, lower everything down. Let your hands plant. We'll inhale, lift the hips once again. And then we'll scooch each shoulder underneath us, interlacing the hands. We'll press the heels down, lift the hips just a little higher. Inhale through the nose. Stay for the exhale. One more deep breath in, lift those hips a little higher. And one more full breath out. Last breath in. With an exhale, release the interlace of the hands, untuck the shoulders, and slowly lower the spine back onto the mat, one vertebra at a time. Toe heel the feet together, and then let the knees drop out wide as the soles of the feet come together. Take your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Take a full breath out through the nose. On your next inhale, take your hands to your outer thighs. Close your knees like a book. Draw your right knee into your chest. Give it a little squeeze with the hands. And then straighten that leg up toward the ceiling. You can point your toes here, or you can flex your foot. Either way is valid. It's just whatever you'd like to feel today. From here, we'll interlace our hands behind the hamstring, calf, or ankle. We'll draw our right femur head into the hip socket. And then we'll point and flex the toes of that right leg. Noticing the sensations you feel, becoming the observer. Removing judgment, just simply observing what is present for you in this moment. Breathe deep and feel. We'll bring the foot to stillness. We'll draw that right knee back into the chest. And we'll place that right foot back on the mat. Inhale, draw the left knee into the chest. Exhale, straighten that leg up toward the ceiling. Interlacing the hands behind the hamstring, calf, or ankle. Draw that left femur head down into the hip socket. And begin to point and flex the toes. Just saying hello to the back of the leg. Continue that deep breathing, elongating your inhales and elongating your exhales. Bring the foot to stillness. Draw that left knee into the chest and place that left foot on the mat. We'll roll off onto our left side. Press our right hand into the mat. Press ourselves up to a seat. We'll come to a cross-legged position. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can always come to sitting on your knees. Either way works great. Once you've found your comfortable seat, we're going to take some neck stretches. So we'll come to a tall spine, engage the belly slightly, and then we'll take our right ear down toward our right shoulder. Draw the shoulders back ever so slightly. And then we'll take our right hand and rest it gently on the left side of our head. We're not pulling though, we're just letting gravity create a little space in this left side of our neck. Inhale here, all the way into the belly. Exhale here, through the nose. Inhale, release the hand. Place it down by your side. Take the left ear to the left shoulder. And place your left hand on top of the right side of your head. Not pulling, just letting gravity do its work. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, release that hand. And we'll tuck our chin down toward our chest. We'll interlace the hands overhead and place them gently at the nape of the neck, giving a little traction to the back of the neck. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Your next inhale, release your hands down by your side. We're going to roll over onto the knees, coming into a tabletop shape. Hands are planted directly below the shoulders, and knees are planted directly below the hips. Check in with your hands. Press down through your finger pads, and then bend your second knuckle. Make sure that the fingers are spread wide and turned slightly out to the sides of your mat. Bring your gaze to center. Inhale, we're going to drop our bellies, draw our shoulders back, and lift our gaze for cow pose. Exhale, tuck our tail, tuck our chin, round the spine, coming into cat pose. Inhale, find cow. Exhale, tuck and round for cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, draw the shoulders back for cow. Exhale, press the mat away, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, cat pose. One more each way, drop the belly, lift the gaze, inhale. Exhale, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, round the spine for cat pose. Inhale, come to a neutral flat spine for tabletop. We'll press firmly and equally into our hands. We'll tuck the toes of the right leg under, lifting that knee off of the mat. And then we'll lift that leg and cross it across the body over to the left, planting the toes and the ball of that foot, and then send the hips back toward that foot. Reach the arms out long in front of you, creating a little more space. Inhale here. Exhale, surrender into the shape. Back leg is fired up and strong. Inhale, rise back onto the palms. Bring them back under the shoulders. Bring that right leg back to center. Come back to the knee. We'll straighten the left leg. And then we'll take that left leg across the body, stretching the arms out in front, folding the heart forward. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, rise back onto the palms, bringing them back underneath the shoulders. Uncross that leg, come back to the knees. We'll take one more cat and one more cow. Inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, neutral tabletop. Walk your hands forward, one hand print. Find that strong hand placement. We're gonna tuck the toes under and lift the knees off of the mat. Once your knees are lifted, we'll inhale, begin to straighten the legs and send the hips up high as we send our heart in between our arms, coming into our first down dog shape. Hollowing out the belly, inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Take a few moments to bend the knees one at a time, pedaling out your dog. Check in with your arms, making sure that your biceps are reaching up toward the ceiling. Now your forearms are spinning in toward one another. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And take an open mouth exhale. Inhale, gaze at your hands. Exhale, take small steps to the top of your mat until your toes kiss your wrist creases. Once you come to the top of your mat, toe heel your feet a little wider than hips width distance. And then begin to bend the knees generously. Let your sacrum head up toward the ceiling. Let your head and neck release. Take opposite hand to opposite elbow, coming to a ragdoll shape. If you're feeling a lot of tightness and tenderness in your hamstrings, take the feet a little bit wider and take the bend in your knees a little bit deeper. Find some sways side to side, bending one knee and then the other. Moving naturally. And then we'll release our hands back down to the mat. Toe heel your feet together, hips width distance. Straighten out the legs. We're gonna inhale, lift the heart. Press the hands into the shins and draw the shoulders back for a halfway lift. Spine is parallel with the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees ever so slightly, press into your feet, and slowly roll up to stand, one vertebra at a time, letting your head and neck be the last thing to rise. Once you come to the top of your mat, Draw the shoulders up toward the ears and down the back. Taking a couple of shoulder rolls to the back. We'll inhale, reach the arms overhead, gaze above you. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Bringing your hands to prayer position, gently pressing the thumbs into your sternum. Close down the eyes and revisit that commitment you made with yourself to come back to the breath, to loosen judgment, to find that wise mind state of thinking. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a full breath out through the mouth. Seal your lips, blink your eyes open. Reach the arms overhead, gazing at the ceiling. We're gonna grab opposite elbows overhead. We're gonna move through something I like to call sunflower circles. So for our sunflower circles, we're gonna turn over to the right, and then we're gonna hinge from the hips and make a big circle with the hand grip, opposite hand to opposite elbow. We're gonna take this motion 2 more times, this direction, making sure not to collapse as you're coming down. You're moving slowly with control, reaching high overhead. Once you come back to standing, we'll take these circles in the opposite direction, twisting from the belly button to the left, and making our big circles. Finding a micro bend in the knees, if that makes this movement more accessible. Last one. Come back to standing. Release your hands down by your side. Coming into mountain pose, we'll inhale, reach the arms overhead, extended mountain. Exhale, reach your arms out in front of you as you hinge from the hips. Coming all the way back down to the mat for a forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Fingers press into the shins, shoulders draw back. Ribs come together. We have a tight core. And exhale, fold. Place your hands on your mat. Step your right foot back, followed by your left. Coming into plank pose, tuck your tail downwards. Draw your belly upwards. Press the mat away. Send your heels toward the back of the space. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. One more deep breath in. One more full breath out. On your next inhale, bring your knees to the mat. We're going to bend our elbows, keeping them close along our side bodies as we keep our hips high. We'll bring our chin down toward the mat, and then we'll straighten out the legs, come down to the belly. Inhale, draw the shoulders back and lift the heart. Press the tops of the feet into the mat for low cobra. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift it up. Little to no weight in the hands. You can have a little weight in the heel of the hand, allowing that to draw the shoulders back a little bit more. Feet are pressing down so the knees are lifting up. Inhale here. Exhale, let everything lower. Take your hands a little bit wider than your mat and tent your fingertips as you point the elbows up toward the sky. We're going to inhale, press those feet down, press into the finger pads, lifting the heart. And then exhale, we'll dip the right shoulder to the center of the space, letting our right cheek rest. Staying for the inhale, staying for the exhale. Inhale, press into your hands, press into your feet. Lift the heart. Exhale, left shoulder dips down toward the mat. Staying for the inhale. Staying for the exhale. Inhale, lift up to center. Exhale, slowly lower it all down. Bring your hands to plant along your side ribs. Draw the shoulder blades together. Elbows point up. Tuck your toes under. We're going to press up through tabletop or plank. With an inhale, lift those knees off the mat and press yourself up into a plank pose. Exhale, send the hips back for downward dog. Hollow out the belly here. Send those hips a little higher. Reach those heels toward the floor, but it's okay if they don't make it. It's not about getting the heels down. It's about getting a stretch most deeply for your anatomy. Everybody's yoga practice belongs to them and them alone. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, gaze at your hands, and take small steps to the top of your mat. Coming into your forward fold once again. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Pause here for a breath. Okay. We're going to inhale, bend into the knees, rise up to stand, reach the arms overhead. We'll take a hold of our left wrist in our right hand, and then we'll reach that arm up and over as we send our hips to the left. Coming into a side body stretch. Inhale here. Exhale, come to center. Take the right hand in the left hand. We'll inhale, reach that right arm up and over. And exhale as we send our hips to the right. Inhale here. And exhale here. One more deep breath in. And exhale, bring it back to center. We'll cactus our arms, making a goalpost shape. And then we'll bend our knees ever so slightly as we lift our heart toward the ceiling, drawing the shoulder blades together. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, reach your arms long, straighten the legs. Take one more deep breath in, gazing at the fingertips. Exhale, hinge from the hips, reach the arms long as you come to your forward fold. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank. Option to take a full vinyasa here, or bring the knees down and find that high hip chaturanga that we did earlier. Either way, we'll slowly lower everything down. We'll flip the tops of the feet to the mat, and then we'll press our arms straight as we draw our shoulders back, coming into a grounded up dog. Exhale, lower it down, tuck the toes, press back to your down dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. On your next inhale, bring your right toes to meet your left big toe, and then reach that right leg long behind you. Exhale, we're gonna roll forward onto our hands and draw our knee to our nose. Inhale, reach it back and long. Exhale, draw knee to nose, and then place that right foot in between the hands. We'll climb onto the fingertips of each hand and check in with your stance. You want to be on train tracks. So if your foot is a little bit too centered, don't feel it out. So it's right next to your right hand. Engage the belly, draw the shoulders back. Here. In the left knee, bring it down to the mat, top of the foot plants, and then draw it back and walk your hands up on top of this right thigh. Check in with the knee. It should be in line with the ankle. Shouldn't be dropping in or tipping out. Tuck tailbone.
Sorry, I'm back. Can you guys see me? Thumbs up. Awesome. Okay.
All right. So we're in our low lunge. We're going to take some pulses. So for our pulses, we're just going to, first I'm going to grab myself a blanket for my knee. For our low lunge pulses, we'll tuck that tail, draw that belly up and in, reach the arms high overhead, and then we'll bend deeply into that right knee, feeling a stretch across this left psoas. We'll inhale, press into the right foot, send the hips back. Exhale, bend deeply. Inhale, lift out, send it back. Exhale, frame that front foot with the hands. And from here, we'll send our hips back and then straighten this right leg, flexing the toes toward the face. And we'll slide that foot forward so that our left hip is directly over our left knee. Inhale, press into the fingertips and draw the shoulders back. Exhale, fold forward over that straight leg. Draw the right femur head into the hip socket as you draw the left hip forward, squaring them off. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Your fingertips. Rise up. Bend that right knee. Place that right sole of the foot on the mat. We'll walk our hands forward, planting them on the mat in front of us. We'll tuck our left toes under, straightening that left leg. Press into the hands, rise up onto them, and then bend that right knee to nose and send the leg back for a plank pose. Drop your knees to the mat. Send your hips high as you bend your elbows, sending your chin to the mat. Straighten the legs, round the belly. Press into your hands, coming into a grounded up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Press back into your down dog. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. With your next inhale, draw your left big toe to meet your right. And then send that left leg up and back. Exhale, draw that knee to your nose. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant that left foot right next to that left hand. Tent the fingertips coming into your low lunge. Draw your right hip forward and your left hip back, making sure that you're on train tracks. Take a deep breath in, draw the shoulders back, lift the gaze, and take a full exhale. One more deep breath in, and with an exhale, ground that right knee. Walk your hands up to your left thigh. Ground the top of that right foot. Draw the tailbone down and the core up and in. We'll inhale, reach the fingertips high. Exhale, bend deeply into that front knee, lower the hips down, getting a stretch across that psoas. Inhale, press through that left foot, lift up. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, press up. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, press up. Exhale, frame that front foot with the hands. Straighten that left leg, toes come toward the face, and slide that foot forward so that your right hip is stacked over your right knee. We'll inhale, draw the shoulders back, lift the heart. Exhale, begin to fold over that straightened leg. Checking in with your hips, making sure the left femur head is drawing back into the hip socket and the right hip is coming forward, squaring them off. Close down the eyes and come back to that place of observation. Noticing anything that comes up for you in this pose, but instead of getting caught up in ideas and thoughts that might surround it, see if you can't simply observe it as you draw your awareness back to your breath. Holding your focus with every breath in and every breath out. On your next inhale, rise up onto your fingertips, bend into your left knee, rise back up into your low lunge, plant the hands, tuck the right toes under, straighten that right leg, roll your weight into your hands, and then bring that left knee to nose, and then send that leg back for your plank pose. Drop the knees to the mat. Send your hips up and back as you bend your elbows, bringing your chin to the mat. Straighten the legs, lower the belly. Inhale, press into your hands for up dog. Exhale, bend the elbows, tuck the toes under. Press up to tabletop or plank into your down dog. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, gaze at your hands. Exhale, take steps to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Find a micro bend in knees, press into your feet, and rise up to stand. Arms go overhead. Uttita Tadasana, extended mountain pose. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. We're going to move into a balancing posture. We'll move into Vrikasana, tree pose. So for tree pose, we're going to press firmly into our left foot. Pick up the toes of the left foot and notice as the arch of that foot lifts, and then draw up on the kneecap of that leg. Plant those toes down. We'll bend our right knee and kickstand the foot right next to the ankle. There's a few layers to tree, so watch me first. Layer one, you press the foot into the calf. Layer number 2, you bring the foot up to the inner thigh, maybe using the right hand to help guide it into that inner thigh. So find the expression that works for you. That foot, and then lifting that leg into the inner calf, or bring it to the thigh. Find a single point to focus your gaze. This will help your balance. Engage your left glute and press your right foot into your thigh as you equally press your thigh into that foot. Engage the core. Don't forget to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. If you want to challenge your balance, reach the arms overhead, growing your branches, embracing any sways or wobbles. You're just a tree blowing in the wind. We'll take another deep breath in through the nose and a full breath out through the nose. Inhale, draw the hands back to heart center. Exhale, bring that knee up toward the center and place it down on the mat. Kick out your opposite foot, give it a little shake. Wonderful. We'll set the tree up on the opposite side, pressing into our right foot, lifting those right toes to feel that arch lift, and then placing those toes back down, engaging the quad. We'll kickstand the left foot out to the side, and then we'll bring that foot up to the inner calf or the inner upper thigh, avoiding the knee joint because knees don't bend that way. So anywhere below or above it is just fine. We'll inhale here as we press our foot into our inner thigh. As we press our inner thigh into that foot, find your drishti, your single point of focus gaze. This will help you find steadiness both in your mind and your body. Grow your branches if you did so on the other side. Breathe deep and feel. Grow your roots down into the proverbial soil. Feel yourself sway in the breeze. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose and a full breath out through the nose. One more deep full breath in. One more deep full breath out. Inhale, bring the hands back to heart center. Exhale, draw that knee toward the chest and place that foot down on the mat. Shake out the right leg. Beautiful. We'll come back to standing, hips width distance apart. Inhaling our arms overhead. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the foot back, followed by the other foot, coming into your plank. And find your variation of chaturanga, either knees planted, hips high, or come down through a full plank. Roll to the tops of the feet, press them down, lift the heart, draw the shoulders back, or up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under, send the heels or the hips up and back, or down dog. Inhale, gaze at your hands. Exhale, take steps to the top of your mat. And from here, we'll toe heel our feet a little wider than hips width distance. And we'll begin to bend the knees and send the hips low until we come all the way to sitting on our mats. Awesome. We'll slowly lower our back all the way down onto our mats. We'll straighten the left leg out long, and we'll draw the right knee into the chest. Let's bend the left knee. We'll bend the left knee and plant the left foot on the mat. And then we'll flex the toes of the right foot. And then rotating from the hip socket, we'll place the right ankle on top of the left knee. And then we'll reach our hands and interlace them around the left hamstring, bringing the left shin parallel with the mat. We'll bend our elbows, drawing those legs in close as we bend our right elbow into the right inner thigh. Close down the eyes here. And just let the feet soften. Just relax into this shape for a couple of breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. One more deep breath in. One more full breath out. We'll plant that left foot, and then we'll draw that right knee back into the chest, stretching the right leg out long, and drawing the left knee into the chest this time. Flexing the toes toward the face. We'll bend the right knee. Rotating from the hip socket, we'll place the left ankle on top of the right knee. And then we'll lift that right shin and interlace the hands behind the left hamstring. Flexing both feet, bending at the elbows and drawing the legs in close as we gently press the left elbow into the left inner thigh. Let the feet soften, close down the eyes, and just settle into this shape for a couple of breaths. Coming back to that wise mind state of observation. Inhaling, let, and exhaling, go. Inhaling, let, and exhaling, go. We'll release that right hamstring and press the right foot back onto the mat. We'll place the left foot down alongside the right. We'll roll off onto our left side and we'll press up into a seat. From here, we'll come to a cross-legged shape. We'll place the hands on the knees and draw the shoulders back to lift the heart. With an exhale, we're going to rotate from the belly button to the right, placing our left hand on top of our right knee, and then reaching our right hand out behind us, tenting the fingertips or planting behind the shoulder back, coming into a seated spinal twist. And then we'll inhale, come back to center, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand comes to left knee, left fingers plant. Inhale, lift the heart, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, rise back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, we're going to reach our arms out in front of us until they plant on the mat, maybe tenting the fingertips. Reach the fingers far out in front of you, and then let your head settle between the biceps. Let everything soften for a deep breath in and a full breath out. Take one more deep breath in And with an exhale, walk the hands back, lift the heart, uncross the legs, draw the knees into the chest. And we'll slowly roll down onto our backs. We'll draw our knees into our chest and we'll bring them wide, flex the feet, and then reach the feet up toward the ceiling. We'll reach for our hamstrings, maybe our shins, or we can take peace fingers around each big toe and start to find some rocks side to side for a happy baby. Check in with your lower spine. Try to plant that sacrum and then rock and roll from that lower back. Maybe play with straightening one leg and then straightening the other. And then when you feel satisfied with your happy baby, release the legs, drop the knees into the chest. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose, drawing our nose up toward the knees. Take the deepest breath of class so far, filling everything and squeezing everything in tight. And with an exhale, let everything go. Let it plant down onto the mat. Palms face up toward the sky. Feet are about mat width distance apart. Let everything settle down. The last few moments of class, your final Shavasana. So really take some time to settle into the shape. The asana practice or the posture practice of yoga is just a small part of the yoga tree. And it was designed to prepare us to be really present in our bodies so that we could drop into a mindful meditation. So for these last few moments of class, let go of any need to control the breath, but begin to observe it. As you observe your breath, begin to also observe the sensations flowing through your body. And every time your mind wanders, you draw your awareness back to the breath. Notice what's around you. Notice any thoughts that arise. And simply let them go. As you settle your awareness into the breath. Take this last minute to just soak up the experience. I'll guide you out of Shavasana when the minute is up. Eyes remaining closed. Roll the head side to side. Next inhale, reach your arms overhead and extend your legs out long for a full body stretch. Exhale. Remembering the analytical mind and the wise mind. These two facets of the mind come together. Know that you can access this at any time, simply with the power of stepping back, coming back to the breath, and observing things, honing our focus, slowing our reaction, and increasing our responsiveness. Heart center. Thank you guys so much for sharing your practice with me today and being flexible in these interesting times we find ourselves in. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to dedicate to yourself and to allow me to share this beautiful practice with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Madeleine.
Yeah, Madeleine, thank you. Thanks, Madeleine.
Thanks, Colin.
Thanks, Madeleine. We appreciate it. We can't hear you, but that was a good class. Thank you.
My pleasure so much for coming. What's your name again?
Where do I
What's
go?
your wife's name again? Did you guys lose me? No.
How do I go?
Uh-oh. Can you guys